Hi everyone, Velvet here, and I have some stories for you today. But before we get started, can you please do me a huge favor and like, comment, and subscribe? It'll really help the channel out. Let's get started. Our first one comes from Fluffy Koala 4094. Am I the beehole for buying my bridesmaid a backup dress just in case she couldn't fit into the one she chose? I'm getting married this year and asked a close high school friend to be in my wedding party. We've been friends for a long time, see each other almost every other week, and generally get along super well and have never fought until now. Since high school, she's always been a yo-yo dieter and will cycle through gaining weight and losing weight. This is something that I've never talked to her about, nor do I have a strong opinion about, as it is her body. The most I get involved is that when she brings up trying to exercise more, I'll invite her out on hikes with me, walks, etc. When I asked her to be my bridesmaid, she was ecstatic, and everything was great. Until she mentioned to me that she bought her bridesmaid dress 3 times smaller than her current size. She said that my wedding was going to be a great motivator to lose the weight. 3 sizes was aggressive in my opinion, as it would put her in a weight that she hasn't been in since college. I didn't say anything though, as I wanted to give her the benefit of the doubt. After a couple months of seeing no progress though, I quietly bought her the same exact dress in a larger size. Come this past week, she called me in tears saying that she doesn't think she can fit into her bridesmaid dress, and felt horrible for ruining the dress code. The one she picked was now sold out, and she was panicking that she couldn't get another dress in time. It was at this time that I mentioned I actually bought her the same dress in a different size, and was happy to gift it to her for free of charge since she already paid for the first one. When she heard this, she blew up and accused me of being a bad friend for never believing in her. She said that my doubt was offensive and I must have been planning for this to happen. I told her that I just cared about her and obviously wouldn't have mentioned the dress if she had lost the weight. But she herself brought up that she couldn't fit into her current dress, so I wasn't sure what she was mad about. She is now threatening to drop out of the wedding party. And some of our mutual friends think I was kind of a beehole for not being supportive enough. But I also don't know what they expected me to do either. Hi OP, you are not the beehole on this one. And I also don't get what's up with your so-called friends. I agree with you, what did they expect you to do? Go over there and make her exercise and watch her food intake? Also, I don't get your friend, she had a problem and you had the solution right then and there for free. I don't know, I think most people in that situation would breathe a sigh of relief that their problem's been solved and they didn't have to do anything. Also, on her little threat of she's now threatening to drop out of the wedding party, call her on it, let her drop. Doesn't sound like she wants to be a good friend right now after you solved her problem. And you did support her. Yeah, you weren't there, cheering her on every second of the day, but you didn't tell her about the dress because you assumed she was going to lose the weight, but it's nice to have the backup plan. So yeah, no, not the beehole. OP, enjoy your wedding. Have a great one, and I hope you have a long, long life together with your partner. Our next story comes from Free Standard 7276. Am I the beehole for telling my sister that she absolutely cannot bring her service dog to our wedding due to my wife's allergy? I, a 32-year-old male, am getting married to my long-term girlfriend, Gemma, a 30-year-old female, at the end of November. Now me and Gemma are having a small wedding with only close family and friends. Invited mainly because we don't want it to be an inconvenience to others. And choosing a venue is really hard due to Gemma's allergy. Gemma is allergic to dogs and is terrified of them due to a freak accident when she was younger. That's also when she found out she's allergic to them. While her allergy is not deadly, even when taking anti-allergies, her face would get significantly swollen, have red marks all over it that are visible even with heavy makeup. And she would constantly sneeze. Lockdown was a blessing in that way. She could wear a face mask. That was helping with allergies. She still is trying to wear a face mask to help her, but can't always do it inside as people immediately think she's ill and don't really want to have us in their restaurants/cafes. Add to the issue, my sister Kate has diabetes and a service dog, Lenny, to help her. I absolutely adore him, and Gemma is not scared of him either. However, due to Emma's allergies, I have reminded Kate not to take Lenny to our wedding. I was dropping some parcels for her this week as she was away and they were sent to my house, as I believe my future wife should be able to enjoy her day without swelling, which would be hard to avoid due to the venue being quite small and private. Gemma gets this reaction even if there's a dog in the same supermarket, even if it doesn't touch her. My sister has reminded me he is a service animal and I can't ask her not to take him. But I have told her he is still a dog and being a service animal doesn't miraculously cancel my wife's allergies. And she knew about them from the start. I'm not asking to not take him to any family get-togethers. I'm just asking not to take him to our wedding. My sister and my mom both called me a beehole and are not talking to me, and have threatened to not come to the wedding, which I said is fine as I value my wife's comfort more, but still, am I the beehole? Hi OP, I'm gonna say you're not the beehole, which is kinda tough for me because I love animals and I love having dogs at my wedding, but I get it, it's your wife and your wedding. And I feel for your sister, but your wife does have the right to enjoy her wedding without having, a giant puffy face. And don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure the law protects owners to have their service animals in public places, not private venues and stuff like that. So, yeah, if your family doesn't come to the wedding, that sucks. But yeah, I agree with you. You and your wife should have a good wedding. And our next video comes from National Swan 3759. Am I the beehole for not giving my son's mom makeup days after he fell out of a tree? My son, Ashton, is in the 4th grade and I share custody of him with my ex. We have a schedule where we basically get him 1 week each. There were times where she screwed me by taking extra days without giving me the same time back. For example, she took him to visit her family in another state, and came back 2 days later because of flight issues. Because that wasn't her fault. She refused to comp me the extra days. Stuff like that. Ashton's school is connected to a park and every Friday they do PE there. Well, he's 9 and does stupid things and decided to see how far he can climb up a tree. He got pretty far and then fell out. He had to get an emergency surgery on his leg and got a bad concussion. He stayed overnight and then had another surgery on Saturday and released that day. My ex and I didn't discuss the custody schedule. We were concerned with other matters. On Sunday, my ex said she was going to pick up Ashton for the start of her week. And I reminded her that he can't be moved around like that. He's still loopy from the concussion and the medicine. How are you going to get a kid with a broken leg into your 2-seat Porsche? Another thing is that he's still not able to wash himself, and he will not let his mom do that. Just me. I told her she can visit, but she needs to prepare for him to stay. She was angry, but knew I had a point. And there were doctor orders. Long story short, my son stayed with me another 6 days later, because my ex couldn't get the time off work where I was with him. Our 19-year-old son agreed to help take care of Ashton when Ashton needed a guy for something. Ashton can now use crutches and recovered from his concussion and can go back to school on Monday. My ex said she wanted to be compensated for the 6 days she lost by getting 2 weeks instead of 1. I said nope. She said that was unfair. I reminded her of all the times when I lost days for things that weren't her fault, and you refused to comp me. It's not my fault Ashton fell out of a tree and you couldn't get a week off. So, I'm not comping you. I told her I'm not going to be flexible with you when you aren't flexible with me. I would say you're both the beehole. I get it when he broke his leg and he can't be moved. That's why he stayed with you. I get that. And I also get you being mad at her screwing you out of your days like that. But man, both of you need to sit down and talk to your child and ask what he wants, instead of using him as a weapon or an item to screw each other over. It's kind of jacked up. I feel bad for the kid. And our last story comes from Specific Lime 4983. Am I the beehole for going to a wedding my entire family is boycotting? I have several sisters, and this situation involves 2 of them. Our oldest sister, April, was dating Jack for 2 years while they were in college. She was a year ahead of him, and when she graduated, she got a job offer in another state. She didn't want a long-distance relationship, so she broke up with him before moving. The entire time they dated, we only met him twice, so when they broke up, our family completely forgot about him. 5 years later, our youngest sister, Megan, was at an industry convention for her job. And ran into Jack as he was one of the speakers. One thing led to another, and they started a long distance relationship. Before it got serious, Megan asked April if she cared and was given the permission to continue. April was engaged at the time and didn't seem to care about their relationship. This year, Jack moved back into our state to be closer with Megan, and they eventually got engaged. April started to make demands, like being the maid of honor, vetoing the venue they picked, and not wanting to invite some of the mutual friends. I'm a dude, and Megan's wedding will be the first one I'll be going to. So, I'm not sure April's demands are out of line, but both sisters ended up in a screaming match. I wasn't there, but I heard it got vicious. To make a long story short, our family decided to boycott Megan's wedding next year. Her reasoning is that Megan is breaking some rule by marrying her ex. Of course, I think that's a stupid reason. Megan and I have always been closer than the rest of the siblings. So, I decided I'm going to attend the wedding. Now, April's on my case and saying that because I'm a guy, I don't understand what a betrayal it is for Megan to marry her ex. Our family is saying I'm betraying April by supporting Megan's betrayal. Now, it's a whole mess and I'm getting non-stop texts about what a bee I am. Hey, you're not the beehole. I would tell them all to piss off and go to the wedding and enjoy yourself. April told your sister it was fine to date Jack. That's it. That's done. It's over. She's obviously acting like a brat and jealous. Because that line, remember she started making demands about being the maid of honor and vetoing the venue? Who the hell is she? You don't get to just decide someone's wedding for them. That she's incredibly jealous. And also, shame on your family for facilitating that terrible behavior of your sister like that. It sounds like she's being twisted and spiteful and doing some kind of weird power play control game thing. Ignore her, go to the wedding, and support. Alright, and that is that. Thank you so much for making it to the end of the video, and can you please do what I said in the beginning, and like, comment, and subscribe? It'll really help the channel out. Velvet out.